Got the camera running?
It's running.
All right.
If I can actually...
Ladies and gentlemen of the AC Nation.
Wait a minute, hold on, can't see you now. Okay.
What we see before us is the Occupy movement. Take a look. We're enjoying it, so let's have some conversation with some of the wonderful people. Hi, how are you? What are you doing here today?
Standing for human rights.
Absolutely. So what are we doing to abridge human rights here by having our conference?
Well,
I know right now you guys are abridging traffic rights, but like, what are we doing to abridge human rights? You know, we've got a black candidate. We're talking about getting together. We're talking about trying to...
doesn't have anything to do with it.
We're trying to
you're the one that talks racist. It has nothing to do with black.
So why don't you tell me what human rights are we abridging that you're fighting for?
Well, it's not what you're abridging. It's what the people who paid for this shit are abridging.
And what are they abridging?
Well, they're the people that help fund our wars.
How do they?
They're the people who
let me get. How about this? Why don't you give me first off? Give me a cogent explanation of who is funding what. How are the people who are funding AFP?
See, I'm here not on behalf. Sorry.
Everybody, this is what we call the wolf pack mentality. It's a technique designed to destroy.
Oh God! I'm having conversations. Oh God! It's autistic fit. It's autistic fit. Oh God! Oh God! The lighting of fires with it. Sorry, stroke.
Let's give credence.
CPR! We need CPR! He's dead! He's dead! Let's kill him! Let's kill him!
Stupidity.
Hey, I noticed you got nice shoes. They're very...
Oh, it's a gift.
It's a good gift. Yeah, good gift. It's funded by the corporations, I assume?
No, gift from a friend.
Really? What about those pants? Did you make those yourself?
No, Salvation Army.
Really?
Yeah, $1. You see, I don't buy new products.
That's respectable.
I don't actually touch money.
That's good. I'm glad that
I got myself out of debt, and I refuse to touch money for the rest of my life.
Except for those shoes.
Well, no, I didn't spend on that.
That coat looks neat.
It was a gift from a man named Chicken Joe in Wells, Maine.
You know the daily callers here.
Well, as we can see, many here in the movement are dressed. Who is that guy dressed with that leather?
I'm doing phenomenal.
We got leather over there. Okay.
I bought the famous scrap aluminum. This was scrap aluminum, and now it's a
As a representative of Fox,
They were sold as scrap because they had a broken derailleur. The derailleur hanger on it right here. And yesterday,
and being a representative of media,
paid forward money from the cops after the mass arrest settlement last year.
That's unfortunate. You don't have a right to your own opinion on any situation because you're a member of the news media. You're not allowed to state one way or another because it feels like the police aren't allowed to say what they want anymore either. They're required to be completely nonpartisan, even if what they're doing is against human rights and against the globalization of the planet, against the survival of the human species as a general whole. See, that's why we're here in the Occupy. We care about the human species.
The answer is this. The cops got in trouble for mass arresting us back in 2000. It took 10 years for the judges to come through. Right, is that right?
No, I'm blocking the traffic.
Follow me. Why are you done block traffic?
In the road. It's civil disobedience. I'm staying in the road.
Okay, come on over here.
Let's have a conversation. You come over here and call Bush, who's a war criminal and hero.
How is Bush a war criminal?
He instigated 2 fucking wars that left the deaths of millions. Yes, he did.
I'm sorry, where were you on September 11th, 2001?
I was in
Pakistan. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you civilly. I'll try to read. Hey, I want to have a civil discourse. Okay, why are we idiots?
Because you're sitting in the road.
It's called civil disobedience, sir.
Yeah.
It's the only way to get change when our political leaders are fought.
Okay. What are you protesting inside?
Well, there's quite a few fat cats in there now celebrating themselves.
I just came out of in there. So what are you protesting?
You're probably not one of the ones being celebrated. There's a lot of people up there that are part of the 1% or against the interests of
1%.
the people. They're bought and sold by
Have you seen the houses of the people that were arrested by the 1% in New York that were part of the 99%?
Being rich is not necessarily a bad thing. Do they make over $1.6 million a year? If they care to join us, fine. If they got rich by oppressing other people and putting people out of their homes, that's what we're fighting. Being rich is necessarily bad.
So of the people that are in there, how many people got rich by oppressing people out of their homes?
The ones you're celebrating, right?
No, who? Give me names. Don't just say that the ones that they're celebrating, because do you even know who they're celebrating? Do you know who they're celebrating in there?
It's not just getting.
His name is Ronald Reagan.
Yes. And trickle down. It's like a dog.
And Ronald Reagan got rich.
Trickle down is not.
How did Ronald Reagan rich by?
He was acting. He was an actor.
He got okay. So is being an actor causing people to get thrown out of their house and home?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so therefore, why are you protesting people celebrating Ronald Reagan?
99%. Well, Ronald Reagan later became a politician and did a lot of
celebrating Ronald Reagan?
But no, I am not against actors, and I'm not against wealthy people.
Yes, right now the reception is honoring Ronald Reagan.
Frankly, no, the reception is for Americans who prosperity.
Which is an honoring Ronald Reagan reception.
Okay, I can call whatever I want.
No, I just came out of it. We had an entire video. We had an entire presentation. Nearly every speech is talking about Ronald Reagan. Okay. So therefore,
anonymously, you can launder that money.
So the reason,
go for it.
What's going on inside is that people like the Koch brothers are spending their money to influence our democracy.
All right. Okay. Now I have a question for you. Do you protest the unions?
No, we've given them
Okay. Then the question: do you know who the top 10? Do you know? Hey, whoa! I allowed you to express your grievance with what's going on there. Do you know who the top 10 donors in the 2008, 2006, 2004, and the 2010 election cycles were?
How many people do a union represent?
Do you
compared to a large corporation?
They were all unions. Okay. Now,
that's how many
of those unions? They actually
the top 10 contributors by industry. By industry?
The top 10 contributors.
By industry.
No, by donors.
How many millions of undisclosed dollars were spent in the 2010 election? Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, who were the top industry?
From people like the Koch brothers who are inside.
You know how many people that the Koch brothers employ?
I don't care.
You know how many jobs that they create?
They don't care about jobs.
You don't care about this country?
The Koch brothers don't care about this country.
How did the Koch brothers? You don't care about this country. You care about the.
That's so evil, right?
Okay, so
the environmental damage that corporations have been doing.
And the Koch brothers have actually always followed the environmental regulations. So I don't really know. Regulations don't. Okay, regulations actually kill jobs.
How come none of the people that caused the financial crisis are held accountable?
The people that caused the financial crisis are, his name is Barack Obama, their other names are Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, Frank Dodd, other people that caused this financial crisis include Bill Clinton, and other people that caused this financial crisis include Al Gore. I can go on and on and on.
So bankers selling subprime loans and then getting them rated.
Who created the?
And then getting them rated as AAA.
Bill Clinton.
Even though they're supposed.
Bill Clinton. Community Reinvestment Act.
That's what created.
That was Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, and that's what created the subprime loan crisis. That's what created the subprime loan crisis.
That played a huge role. The community
Not
reinvestment
bankers
played a huge
packaging
role.
up shoddy mortgages that were sold by large mortgage brokers and then rated as AAA by companies like S&P and Moody's, and then sold to multiple bankers, and then sold to people that didn't know what what they were buying because they trusted a AAA rating, which then, once those mortgages started to default, the housing market crashed and the whole economy crashed with it. That's what happened in the financial crisis. But not something that happened when Bill Clinton made the Community Reinvestment Act.
Here's where you go wrong in your analysis, though, if you just allow me to explain my perspective for a second. This is where you go wrong with your analysis, is you blame it all on the banks and the corporations. Well, guess what? What created the environment for the housing bubble to be created and then burst? It all goes back to the federal government. It all goes back to the federal
Congress, led by Newt Gingrich.
It all goes back to the federal government. We're not talking about parties right now.
Subprime loans had nothing to do with the financial crisis.
Oh, they absolutely did, but it's the government that actually created the environment for subprime loans to exist. Listen.
Who funds government elections?
A lot of
What's
corporations.
the number one industry that funds elections?
A lot of corporations
Finance.
do. Sure, I understand, but you all are still missing the point. You're missing the point that if the federal government actually remained within the confines of the Constitution, then we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But unfortunately, that flies in the face of your entire goal of worldwide socialism and globalization and population control and all that. That's your problem. Is you're about big government. And you're about you complain about all the rich people stepping on people, and you want government to beat the individual down.
The best. That all they care about is money. There's a culture on Wall Street that says you have to make more money than the person next to you.
Well, guess what? They have every right to do that.
Even when it violates
individually,
laws,
they have every right to do that.
Even when it drives the economy of the United States into the ground, they have the right to do that.
But you're missing my point, though. You're missing my point.
That it was all the federal government's fault.
That it goes. That if you trace it all the way back to the federal government, if the federal government would have remained within the confines of the Constitution, I went to a private university in Kansas.
In Kansas, huh?
Yes.
We are imperial.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go down this way to talk to some of the people at the door. That was riveting. Obviously, he thought that it was a bad thing that I went to a private university in Kansas. Apparently, from the sound of his voice, because I went to school in Kansas, I must be an inbred hick who doesn't know what I'm talking about. So, what he failed to understand is ultimately it's not about the corporations, it's not about the banks. The federal government created the environment for the subprime mortgage crisis to exist, for the housing bubble to be created, and then the housing bubble bursting.
I go down 6th Street all the way.
Let's go. And that, my friends, is Occupy Wall Street. Oh, by the way, for those of you who want to know about the housing bubble and how it was created, the Foundation for Economic Education has created a document called The House That Uncle Sam Built. And I recommend that you Google The House That Uncle Sam Built, Foundation for Economic Education, and read it. As a matter of fact, I wish I had copies of it right now because I'd hand it out to everybody over there.